So welcome to this BTP Talk, and today we are very fortunate. We have Mike here, and I've really been looking forward to this dialogue about Lean and the connection to TWI. So Mike, can I get you to introduce yourself?
Yes, Mike Hoseus. So I had good fortune to grow up with Toyota in Kentucky 38 years ago. Started as a supervisor, group leader, and then had the good opportunity to grow with the company into management and executive leadership. And I have a passion for TWI topics, so I'm glad to talk today.
Ah, great. Same here. Same here. I know we have similar backgrounds. You're from HR and from Toyota. I'm from Atlanta, from HR there. So people development and Lean. If you put a few words on that, connecting that with culture, how do you see that?
Well, I liked how you just did it, because in most people's mind, Lean is tools and process improvement, and it is all that, and system improvement, it is all that. And John hit the people development, and that's why I wrote the book Toyota Culture, was to tell people there's two sides of it, and the process and the people improvement work together. And really the TWI helps to do that and helps connect that, because the standard work is just that, standard work on our current best practice, but the culture of Toyota is now how do we improve that. And so TWI does the whole process. So I don't know how much detail you want me to get into with the
Let's
JI.
Let's go all of it. Let's go all of it. As much as you want.
JR and the JM, but because people, so the people have a misunderstanding of standard work, and we just got done with a conference talking about that. That for most people, standard work means making robots out of people, and that's not the intent of standard work in the Lean or the Toyota way. So, but it is the initial goals of standard work is that current best practice and stabilization, and that's what JI will do. So it establishes that current best practice, gets in the engagement or input from all the current people doing the job, creating that job breakdown sheet of the what, how, and why, and then I can transfer that knowledge to a new person coming in. And so again, that stabilization and that respect. Because we talked about how respect, was for JR, but I think respect even starts with the job instruction, because a lot of people's training is, "Hi, John, welcome," and throw you to the wolves or so whatever.
Yes.
And we have a lot of turnover because people are handled that way. Most companies I work with, 50% of the turnover is in the first 3 to 6 months. So it's the onboarding, and because they have no system or process to train John coming in new. And JI is that system. So again, it establishes that current best practice. Now it's a way to transfer the knowledge to John as he's coming through. So the Toyota way, again, continuous improvement, respect for people. JI does both.
It's so funny you mentioned that kind of the onboarding process. So we did a case in Czech and Slovak for a window company, and we were hired in because the onboarding process was too long and then a higher turnover. So we went in and we was teaching the job instruction components to the trainers who were then onboarding people, right? And then it turned out, of course, we shortened the onboarding time with more than 50%. But at the same time, people stayed.
Reduced the turnover, yeah.
Yes, they stayed because they got a good treatment. And before that, there was a kind of the internal dialogue was, we're losing people because a new company was building a car company next to it, right?
Yeah.
So they're losing employees to salary. But that was not the truth.
Exactly.
The truth was actually the relationship between the supervisors and the people.
I love it.
So improving that kind of relationship in the onboarding made people stay.
Perfect.
And that's kind of those examples we see around the world.
That's
right?
a great. They're literally around the world.
Yes. And same goes for the job relations one, where normally we say that you meet leaders, right? Say, oh, people, they don't want to follow my change. They don't want to do digitalization, or they don't want to do this and this and this, and they point the fingers out. But our learning is with job relations is, so what are we doing wrong? So they don't want to follow our instructions. So for me, that's kind of job instruction, job relations. You have kind of the job instructions. If they can't do it, we can train them. But if they don't want to follow our instructions, right?
Yeah.
We do job relations, respect for people.
So again, it's how that combines the CI and the respect for people.
Yes.
And another Japanese member told me that you can have a great improvement and a great Kaizen, improve the process, but if you don't have the relations and the way to work through that, then it's gone.
Yes.
It's part of that change management.
Yeah.
So it's awesome, because again, most supervisors struggle not with the technical part of the job, but the interpersonal, right, people part of it.
Yes. I
had
told
one
you 3
person tell
times.
me,
Yeah.
this lean would be easy if it weren't for the people.
Yeah.
So how do we manage the process and the people?
Yes.
Again, that JIJR is it.
Yes, it is. It is. And then it goes for job method, right? Because once you have that fellowship and you can train people, then it's easy to improve it, right?
There you go.
And that's kind of that combination of it.
So there's the sequence of standard work. We get
Yeah.
the stabilization,
Hmm.
we transfer the knowledge to new people, the onboarding, and now how do we engage in an improvement of it?
Yes.
And if we can get those basics in place, we've got it. And it always amazes me how many companies are doing lean and have never heard of JI or JR or JM. And it's like, meanwhile they're doing all this stuff and like you're missing a very foundational basic component of it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Cool. Let's add a few words on it, on the skills matrix or the flexibility chart or the training timetable.
that's good.
I do see that as a very strategic tool.
Great.
And most companies that I visit, it's more or less a dead tool or not being used, needs to be dusted off.
Yeah.
And I also see that there's a misconnection between the KPIs and the skills. So my learning is that many supervisors are conflicts-like, like all of us are, like 8 out of 10 are. So if I rate my people high on a skill, but I see variation in performance,
Then what's up? Yeah.
yeah, so it's a lie, right, compared to that. So it's very difficult to have a reality of people's skills, meaning doing process confirmation, ensuring they have the skills, or are we teaching the skills good enough? And at the same time also looking at the KPIs, right?
Yeah, perfect.
Because motivated and skilled people often also give good results.
Yeah.
So I don't know you're learning on that, but that's been
Yeah,
my
well, I
cutoff.
mean, that's the connection. So we're connecting the systems and behaviors like we
Yeah.
talked about earlier
Yeah.
to the results.
Yeah.
And if it's not improving, then what are we doing wrong back here, right?
Yeah.
And the flexibility chart we love, and Toyota used it. And the nice thing, I use it as a group leader, but I always use it as a manager and executive for, again, training and development of the people. And so it was all, again, a combination of that, and we were taught by the Japanese on that flexibility chart, it's that balance of the business and the people. So we got to get coverage, flexibility, so that if John's gone today and he's the only one who knows the machine, that's no good. But if we have people cross-trained, then we can cover the business. So that's a business part of it. Then we also have the development part of it is how can I help you grow, John, and how do you want to be a team leader, and then we'll train you in more jobs. So it's that win-win again of the business is improved because of the cross-training, and the people are
Yes.
improved because of the cross-training.
Yeah.
And again, for Toyota, that went all the way up, because I went from production to human resources to cover my skills matrix, right?
Yep.
Of covering the business and developing me. So I want you to use the skills matrix, but not only on the production floor, throughout the whole organization. It can be used.
Yes, it can. And same goes for all the modules, right? So one of the cases we have for job instruction is a pump manufacturer in Denmark. And there we are actually not only using the job instruction on the front line, but production managers are also teaching each other using job instruction.
Nice, yeah.
So it actually works for all the levels. I mean, it's skills we're training.
That's right.
So how do you run your board meetings? How do you do process
So
confirmations?
define the skills.
Yes.
And then multi-flex the people, just multi-skill the people.
Yeah. So define the critical knowledge, transfer it, follow on it. Does it actually follow and does it work? And then the results are more stable in that process. The positive spin, I would say. The other one is the negative spin, right?
Yeah.
No time for training, inefficient
Right,
training, variation, and firefighting. Yeah.
So for very practical application.
Yes.
For improvement.
Cool.
All right, let's do it.
Thank you, Mike.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I like that. Let's do it.